Hey, how's it going? And today I'm just messing around with trying to make a lightning bolt. I've always wanted to try to do this in LightWave, and so I was inspired to do this by watching this Mark Warner tutorial here. It's really interesting to me what he's got going on here. And so he starts his tutorial with this mesh. It just comes on, he brings it on, he just says it's a simple mesh that he made. This thing, that thing right there. Hold on. So this is, to me, was the first stumbling block, was I wasn't sure even how to model this. So I was just messing around with some stuff. This is the solution I came up with that. So this is the first part of this whole thing. So to do this, what is this? I think I loaded in something. I was messing around with Python and I messed up something in here somewhere. But to do this, you're going to need to get the DuPont tools, the plugin. It's the DP tree tools. Everybody knows about that pretty much, right? What that is. But I don't know. There's a website here, Learning LightWave. This one right here. It's got a nice little story about LightWave and everything. Some of my favorite people. If you come up here on the top, there's a link right here, and you just follow that. And so you come here to, it's this one right here. This is the one you want. You download this one. For Windows, if you're running Windows, I think you'd want, he's done a pretty good job of keeping these updated. This one is probably the one you want. So you download that and you put it in as a plugin, and then when you get it in, it's over here. How I figured to do this was, I'm just gonna go into create, and I'm just making a little box here, and like that. And then if you come down to N, we can give it a few segments, like 4, like that. I think should do it just like that. And then you hit the space bar to drop the tool, and then you can hit T, and then we just drag this pretty much straight up a little ways, kind of however long you want the let me just go into one window here, and you just drag it up as big as you want the lightning bolt to be. So let's say we drag it up there. Now this needs to be on a background layer, so I'll hit spacebar again to drop the tool, and I'm just going to go Control C and come over here to the second layer, hit Control V, paste it, and then I'm going to come back to the first layer, clicking on that box, and I'm going to delete that. And then you hit Shift, and then you hit the bottom half of the second layer, and now it's in the background. So you've got the first layer right here that's blank, and then you've got on the second layer you've got the background showing. Okay, and then we can just come over into Utilities, and we go to Additional, and we go down to our DP tree tool, and we go into numeric, and here it is. And there's a lot of different settings you can play around with. This is just what I was experimenting with, so I did take a couple notes here. So interesting, for the branch, I'm just doing one. I just want one bolt. That's all I want. And then sub segments, I put in 1. For the branch division, I put 85. And for the trunk deviation, I put in 50. And like I said, you can just play around with this. On the next More tab, I'm trying to see what I wrote, actually. Oh, it's hard to see for some reason. Gosh, that's hard to see. Here, I left that at 100. I put this down to 15. And the branch deviation, I put it up to 20. The iterations, I left that. And here, I put this up to 85. And like I said, you can just play around with these settings. And then I just click make tree. And then it just makes a bolt like this. And like I said, you can reset it if you come in here and play around with different settings. But that's what I came up with. I mean, that's what it looks like. Just a single bolt. So what I do then, and like I said, you can mess around with some of these settings if you want to. I think that was, I don't think I changed the trunk height on that. Let me see. 45, 85, 50, 10, 1, 0, 1. So those are the settings that I used. And then we'll just go to save object as, and I'll just do it, I'll call it bolt 5, save, and then we just send the object to layout. And there it is. Oh, let me clear the scene. I made a kind of a mistake here. Go back into Modeler. So you might want to get rid of this thing. So you would just hit delete there, and then we can save object again, and then just send it all over to layout. We just want the bolt. So I'm just repositioning myself here. You see, it's kind of a cool looking bolt, and I suppose you could, you could do all different kinds of things with it. But it looks more lightning-ish bolt to me. So I'm going to match my camera perspective. There's a lot of different things you can do with it from here. I'm going to do a tutorial, again, picking up on the Mark Warner one, which will be like a part 2 to this. And then I'll just go into camera view, and then let me just go into VPR. It's hard to see against that backdrop, so we'll just turn the backdrop off. And that's cool, right? I mean, that's a nice looking bolt, I think. What we can do if we want to just kind of dress it up for right now is we could come into the edges here, put it at 3, thicken it up, and then we can go into the surface editor here, and on the luminosity you got to dial that up before you can get to the color, and we can make it white and go okay, and then just jack that all the way up, crank it all the way up, crank everything up there. And then you've got yourself kind of a cool looking bolt. The other thing that you can do is go into backdrop and processing and come down here to glow, double click here. Where is it? Should be able to double click there. Oh yeah, and click there. And we can just leave it on the default settings for right now, because this is a process. You won't see it until you render the frame. And so if we just go render frame, you'll see that there's a nice little glow it adds on top of everything. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to leave it like this, and this, you can consider this part 1, and then I'll follow up with the rest of this on another tutorial on actually animating this and hopefully making it look cool. There's a little bit more involved in that, so I'll do that on a second tutorial. And I just want to say, hang in there, everyone. I mean, I'm not worried. I have every faith that LightWave's going to be around, and I'm going to keep using it forever. I have no intention to give up on it at all. So anyway, take care, everybody. I'll talk to you later.